की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। प्रेम से कहिए श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की, नवदीप मायापुर धाम की। श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, श्री द्वारकापुरी धाम की। गंगा माई यमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की। पतित पावन हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। श्री श्री राधा माधव की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई सुदर्शन चक्र की। श्री श्री गौर निताय की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna. Today's Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class will be given by His Grace Srivas Rasabihari Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja
बिहारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन जमुना तीरा वनचारी जमुना तीरा वनचारी जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की। जयम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्-भागवतम की। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायामुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवता सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपः कुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. This morning we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1st, entitled Creation, Chapter 7, entitled The Son of Drona Punished, Text 33. Tata asadya tarasa draunam gautami sutam babhanda amarasha tamaraksha pasum rashanaya yatha तथा आसाद्य तरसा द्रौणं गौतमी सुतं sorry it is दारुणं गौतमी सुतं बभन्द अमर्ष तमराक्षा बभन्द अमर तामराक्षा पशुं रशनया यथा तथा आसाद्य तरसा दारुणं गौतमी सुतं बबन्धामरसा तामराक्ष पशुं रशनया यथा तथा आसाद्य तरसा दारुणं गौतमी सुतं बबन्धामरसा तामराक्ष पशुं रशनया यथा. Please recite. तथा आसाद्य तरसा दारुणं गौतमी सुतं बबन्धामरसा तामराक्ष पशुं रशनया यथा. Any more devotees? तथा आसाद्य तरसा दारुणं गौतमी सुतं बबन्धामरसा ताम्राक्ष पशुं रशनया यथा तथा आसाद्य तरसा दारुणं गौतमी सुतं बबन्धामरसा ताम्राक्ष पशुं रशनया यथा तथा आसाद्य तरसा दारुणं गौतमी सुतं बबन्धामरसा ताम्राक्ष पशुं रशनया यथा. Anybody from Vaishnavis? तथा आसाद्य तरसा दारुणं गौतमी सुतं बबन्धामरसा ताम्राक्ष पशुं रशनया यथा. We'll see word to word meaning. Tatha, thereupon, asadya, arrested, tarasa, dexterously, darunam, dangerous, Gautami Sutam, the son of Gautami, Babanda, bound up, Amarasa, angry, Tamaraksha, with copper red eyes, Pashum, animal, Rasanaya, by robes, Yatha, as it were. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Arjuna, his eyes blazing in anger like two red balls of copper, dexterously arrested the son of Gautami and bound him with ropes like an animal. Please recite the translation. Arjuna, his eyes blazing in anger like two red balls of copper, dexterously arrested the son of Gautami and bound him with ropes like an animal. Purport. Ashwathama's mother, Kripi, was born in the family of Gautama. The significant point in this shloka is that Ashwathama was caught and bound up with ropes like an animal. According to Sridhar Swami, Arjuna was obliged to catch the son of a Brahmana like an animal as a part of his duty, dharma. This suggestion by Sridhar Swami is also confirmed in the later statement of Sri Krishna. Ashwathama was a bona fide son of Dronacharya and Kripi, but because he had degraded himself to a lower standard of life, it was proper to treat him as an animal. and not as a Brahmana. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Praishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So first of all, I seek blessings of all the assembled devotees so that I can speak something worthwhile on this context of Lord Krishna and Arjuna punishing Ashwathama. So in this chapter we have seen how Ashwathama has mercilessly killed the 5 sons of Pandavas. And even having committed such great sin, he is expecting that he will be let free. Or rather, he is trying to escape from punishment. So this is tendency of a demoniac person, or at worst a weak-hearted person. That you commit a mistake and expect that I should be let free without being sufficiently punished for your action. So here Arjuna, as a role of Kshatriya, he is taking the situation in his hand and he is punishing Ashwathama, at least trying to punish him as to what he rightly deserves. So here Bhagavatam says Pashum. Pashum means an animal. So why Ashwathama is referred here as Pashum? Because animals do not take good advices. Animals, and sometimes you can count demons also. Right? Demons do not take good advices. Like for example, we make some rules and regulations on how to act on the street. A human being is expected to follow that rules. Like for example, on the street it is written that do not pass water here. So if a human being commits that mistake, ideally police is supposed to catch him and punish him, and the punishment will also be written. If you do some mischief here, you will be charged 500 rupees or 6 months of imprisonment. So it is applicable only to human beings. If an animal goes and does that mistake which human being is entitled for a punishment, the animal is not punished like that. Because animals are animals. You don't expect animals to behave in a dharmic way or in a educated way. Because animals are animals at last. They don't have intelligence. Now Ashwathama is not, from biological reasoning if you want to see, Ashwathama is not just a human being, but he is born to a very great lineage. Gautami Sutam. So we know Gautam Rishi was a great sage. So he is born in such lineage, and see what kind of heinous act he is doing. So that is the reason why sometimes, at least in India, we see that if a child is very, very mischievous, he is asked upon, who is your father? Has your father not given you sufficient good training? That at least used to happen at the times when I was a small child. We used to ask, I remember people asking, whose son are you? Is this what you have got trained from? So Ashwatthama, unfortunately, his father was a very, very well-trained person. Prabhupada writes that he is a bona fide son of Dronacharya and Kripi. But unfortunately, in Ashwatthama's life, he did not got good association. Or rather, he did not took seriously the good association he got. He rather was so careless in developing his personality that he thought that, Kauravas are my friends. So in this way, Ashwatthama degraded himself. So in scriptures it is said that by association you can elevate yourself, and by association you can degrade also yourself. So Ashwatthama is a crest jewel example of how you can degrade so heinously. Shri Shri Radha Madhav Bhagwan ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki. So he has degraded so badly that he is committing offense to innocent people. The sons of Pandavas, like for example, generally, let us recount in Bhagavatam, where all a well-trained or educated person does a mistake, and how is his reaction towards his mistake. For example, we have Chitraketu. He did a very small mistake. Rather, in one sense, it was not even a mistake. It was kind of a glorification of Lord Shiva. But of course, the complete intention of Chitraketu was not what exactly can be understood from that view. But he did a mistake, but when the punishment comes upon you, how do you react? Do you resist? Do you accept it? Or what do you do? Look at Ashwatthama. Having seen that, by the time Arjuna has come forward to punish Ashwatthama, it is very evident that Ashwatthama understood that these 5 people were not Pandavas. What apparently he thought that I will go in the night where Pandavas are sleeping and will just go and kill. Actually, it is so sinful that even though knowing that these, it is very simple, if you just crush one head of a person and if it got crushed, definitely he is not a Pandava. Definitely Bhima is not so weak physically that you can crush a skull of a person. So Ashwatthama, by that act only he should have understood that they are not Pandavas. And now that he has understood that it is not Pandavas, rather sons of Pandavas, the right course of action for Ashwatthama would have been just come and, take shelter, or not take shelter also, just beg for his offense. Just beg for his offense helplessly, even without considering whether he will be spared or not. That should be mood of a person who has offended. Like we see in the Bhagavatam, there was once a king called Rahugan, and he was traveling on a palanquin. He considered himself as a Kshatriya. Right? It's very good. A Kshatriya to consider himself as Kshatriya is a very good act. So he was employing 4 Shudras to carry his palanquin to go to Kapila Ashram. Kapila Ashram is also to go and take association of devotees. So he was going like kings used to go. So unfortunately one of the Shudras couldn't carry the palanquin and he was left behind, and it was becoming too very difficult to carry the palanquin with 3 Shudras. So these 3 Shudras were told that go and find out if is there any other person suitable for this. So these 3 people being Shudras, they were not very elevated to identify who is who. So they just picked up Jad Bharat and he said, okay, just pick up the palanquin and drive, because this is our king's order. So they picked him up, and while driving, we know what has happened. There was imbalance, because he was considered about not even offending even ants. unnecessarily. Like even if we read scriptures very, very carefully, we will see that only those animals who are harmful to us can be killed. Like sometimes snakes are killed. Not that just because we tell that snakes are killed, we go on an ride, hunt, saying that I'll kill all the snakes. Only those snakes which are harmful to you, you can kill them. Similarly, scorpions. You don't have to go to the bank of ocean and find out all the scorpions and kill. Only those scorpions which are creating disturbance can be killed. So this Jad Bharat was considered, what is the offense of these ants? This is the residence of ants, right? Ants live in the forest. So why should I come and kill them? So we see that there Rahugan very, very sarcastically speaks to Jad Bharat. He offends him in a very bad way, thinking that he is a Shudra. And the moment Rahugan realized that this Jad Bharat is a very realized soul. Because Jad Bharat has spoken about Atma. Jad Bharat told to Rahugan that you are speaking all these words, you are speaking to my body or you are speaking to me. If you are speaking to body, I don't care. If you are speaking to Atma, also I don't care. See the level of consciousness of a self-realized soul. If you are speaking to body, he doesn't care because body is after all body. And if you are speaking it to me, I am eternal servant of Krishna. I don't have anything to give and take with you. Right? So that is the consciousness of an elevated person. So when Jad Bharat spoke, he did not spoke too much also. He just spoke few verses. That, are you offending me? Are you offending Atma? Be clear with yourself, kind of thing. So with such a small interaction, Rahugan understood his mistake. And see the reaction of Rahugan. He immediately came down the palanquin and he fell at the feet of Jad Bharat. And he said, I have done a great offense. So the offenses can be at various levels. And this offense of just speaking harsh words to a great devotee, he is very, very much afraid. Generally, the quality of the king is that he is fearless of any situation, any enemy, any kind of combat. Whereas Rahugan says, Naham Vishanke Suraraja Vajran. Suraraja Vajran means Indra has a Vajra. And sometimes it is compared that Indra's Vajra, if is attacked by somebody, it is invincible. You have to get wounded or defeated by Indra's Vajra. So Rahugan says, Naham Vishanke Suraraja Vajran. I don't fear for the weapon of Indra. Naham Vishanke Suraraja Vajran. Na Tarkasya Shulan. Tarkasya Shulan means Lord Shiva's trident. Imagine Lord Shiva shoots a trident against a person. What is his hope? He directly will meet Yamraj. Na Tarkasya Shulan, na Yamasya Dandat. Not even punishment of Yamraj. If you go to the lower planetary systems, of course we cannot go just by our own desire. If we read even from Bhagavatam, we can know what kind of punishments are inflicted by Yamraj. A person is fried in a oil, kadai. And you don't die also. You imagine you become fried like pakoda with a hot oil. But still, Rahugan says, I am not even afraid of those punishments. Yamasya dandat. Na tarkasya shulas, na yamasya dandat. Na agni arka soma nilavitta pastas. I don't even care for the weapons of Agni Dev, Surya, Soma. Anila means, Agni arka soma nilavitta pastas. One more demigod is water weapon, if I am not wrong. I don't care for all these weapons having of so invincible by these demigods. Shankhe Bisham Brahma Kulava Manat. I very much feel feared if I have offended a great devotee of the Lord. Brahma Kulava Manat. So this Ashwathama, you see, such contrary, he has offended after offended. Like sometimes what happens, so these people who offend devotees, and if they feel that, oh, the person whom I am offending, he is a devotee, so he will not take the offense, right? And he will forgive me, right? So now, first time, sometimes, say for example, if the Vaishnavas, out of their kindness, he feels that, oh, he offended me, why I should act like a Vaishnava, and I should just forgive. So if he forgives, then what happens generally, if this offender is not genuine, then what he will do, oh, he forgave my mistake means, what? I can do it again. Like sometimes we see that Pariksit Maharaj did a mistake, he was qualified even to counteract that, right? The punishment which was conferred upon him. So why he did not do it? Like Chitraketu Maharaj, he was given punishment by Parvati, and Chitraketu Maharaj, there he is not negotiating. Chhod do na, I'm sorry, galti. I just told by mistake, I didn't mean it. Chitraketu Maharaj could have come back and negotiated. But why they have accepted that punishment on them? Why? Because they don't want to set an example for future. See, Chitraketu was forgiven, see, Pariksit was forgiven, so I should also be forgiven. This is general tendency of weak-hearted people. General tendency of weak-hearted people. That person was left free, I should also be let free. That is a possibility of an action or a reaction of the people. So here, Rahugan never expected that he should be let free. Rather, because now he has offended a person who is a great personality, Rahugan thought I should become his disciple. I thought I am superior to him, so the justified punishment for me is that I become inferior to him. So that is the quality of a true Kshatriya. See, although Rahugan has punished or spoken in a very harsh way, Bhagavatam does not vilify him at all. In fact, the name of Rahugan comes in Bhagavatam verses. But you see the unfortunate situation of Ashwathama, the word called Ashwathama also does not come. So that is the situation of a person who is truly learned, that he does not tolerate offense, especially with respect to consideration of offenses. The scriptures say that, okay, fine, you are a Vaishnava, you can tolerate the offenses committed on you, but you should never tolerate the offenses committed on others, other Vaishnavas. Others does not mean others, but other Vaishnavas. So scriptures say that if you see that somebody is offending Lord, or somebody is offending a Vaishnava, what is the right punishment for him? What is the right punishment for a person who is offending? The first offense, punishment for an offender is what? Anybody can tell? Just kill him. Just kill him. So imagine these Brahmanas, I am just taking from 4th canto also because we are discussing in abbots. This Vena was becoming too much offensive. For some extent, the Brahmanas tolerated him, thinking that he will rectify. Right? But when Brahmanas saw that it is over the above head, now it is too much, what did the Brahmanas do? They just killed him. He will not. See, first time or for some time they tried to give him instruction. But when he saw that the instructions are not getting into his brain, the best kind of punishment to an offender is finish him. Of course, what Prabhuji was telling is also right, or cut his tongue. The whole idea of killing him or cutting his tongue is that he will not repeat it. If he is speaking offenses to the devotees, the reason why we should cut his tongue is he just can't repeat it. right? So that is the course of action should be taken for the offenders. Or, say for example, who should give that punishment? A superior person should give that punishment, either Brahmanas or Kshatriyas. Ideally, if the Kshatriyas are very strong, very religious, a person should feel, fearful in committing any mistake. So that should be the ideal character of a Kshatriya. He should not, if a king is very weak, then this kind of situation will come again. You commit an offense, ask for forgiveness. Say sorry, Prabhu, okay. Again commit the same offense, again say sorry, Prabhu. Again commit the same offense, again say sorry, Prabhu. So now, once this happens few times, it becomes an achara. Achara means everyone also thinks that this is right. You understand? Thinks that, okay, I should also commit offense and I should also beg forgiveness, and this is the way we should live with life. So if the person who commits offense, he lays the seed of such a achara, and the Kshatriyas or Brahmanas who forgive him, they water the seed of this achara. So in this way, this achara goes on. However, in Vedic Dharma, the kings were not like that. This is all products of degraded societies. In Bhagavatam 12th canto, you will see that degraded dynasties of Kali Yuga. So degraded dynasties means what? Degraded people, degraded rulers, both. So probably Ashwatthama was one such degraded person from whom all these things have started. Commit an offense towards innocent people and think that I will be escape, think that I will be I can get away from the punishment or trying to escape. So in this way Ashwatthama went on. Here Arjuna is described as red balls of copper. What is the word used? Tamaraksha. So Tamara means copper, Aksha means like eyes. With the copper red eyes, he punished Ashwatthama just like an animal. So there are various Niti Shastras which deals about punishment. Like for example, if we read Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning, first chapter, when Arjuna, out of this kind of sentiment only, I am a Vaishnava, like for example, he is a Vaishnava, so he should tolerate an offense against him. So he extended his selfishness a bit. He thought that me and my family, me 5 Pandavas, 4 of my brothers and Draupadi, these are the people who were offended by Kauravas, right? Mainly Bhima, Yudhishthira. Bhima was offended by trying to kill him. Yudhishthira was offended by challenging him in a dice match. Draupadi was offended. I was offended. So we all are one family, we will just tolerate. So there, Arjuna was enraged by Krishna, that this is foolishness. If a Kshatriya thinks that we will tolerate offenses, it is not a glory of a Kshatriya. It is rather infamy of the Kshatriya. A Kshatriya will be called incompetent. If a Brahmana says that I will tolerate an offense on me and the other people, it is to some extent okay for a Brahmana. To some extent it is okay for a Brahmana that I will just tolerate if somebody offends me. Ideally, if he is a Brahmana, a true Brahmana will go and tell the king that this is what this person has done offense. You decide what is the right course of punishment for him. That is the best thing a Brahmana can do. Even if he does not want to punish that particular offender, he will at least tell the king, because kings are justified. If somebody is wrong, he is wrong, you just punish him. So Arjuna is being conferred by Krishna in later verses that he has acted as bad as an animal. So just kill him. Like for example, we kill a human being, suppose by mistake somebody ends up killing a human being, it is very tough, very difficult to escape from the laws of government, even today, to some extent. If you commit a murder, at least in the current modern scenario also, you will be fearful of how do I escape law. There are means of escaping from the law's punishment, but definitely you will start calculating. But for example, if an animal is killed, like you go to so many slaughterhouses, the person who is slaughtering an animal is becoming rich, because killing an animal does not entail kind of a capital punishment. And Arjuna is treating Ashwatthama like that because it befits him, kind of activity, kind of consciousness he is living in. So this is how there are very, very subtle laws of punishment and rewards in the scriptures. And what should be tolerated, what should not be tolerated is a very, very, being taught to Kshatriyas. So here, Krishna in future verses, you will see that he also approves this act of Arjuna. So Arjuna is showing his anger, tamaraksha, copper red eyes. So somebody who is administrator, he sometimes should have to use his anger to subside the situation of adharma. Reading more from Bhagavatam, we also see Prithu Maharaj also following in his footsteps. When Prithu Maharaj saw that for the mistake of Mother Earth, many innocent people were suffering. Just because Mother Earth thought that all the people in this planet are sinful people, she thought that do hell with them, let them die. I won't give ingredients to them. But whereas by that time, because Prithu Maharaj was ruling, again the dharmic yagyas were again reinstated. So at the cost of life of so many innocent people, that too for a mistake of one person, that person becomes like an animal. So even though, like for example, if you go back to Ramayana also, Lord Ramachandra was trying to say that I am ready to forgive Ravana, provided Ravana surrenders. So now sometimes people may see that it is weakness of Lord Ramachandra, that we were reading, like Bhagavad Gita, I did not continue. Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada writes in the purport that there are 6 kind of offenders who can be killed. Who has burnt your home to fire, who has abducted your wife, who has abducted your wealth, who has tried to kill you. Like that, there are 6 kind of offenders. So according to that rule, Lord Ramachandra should have punished Ravana with capital punishment without even considering, settle down. So you will see that Lord Ramachandra did that. There were other demons who had come to attack Mother Sita also. Ravana did not sat there and said, okay, you have done offense, okay, please tell sorry to Mother Sita. If Mother Sita forgives, I will forgive you. Not like that. He just killed them. But only in case of Ravana, Lord Ramachandra was little bit considerate. Why? Because for his sake, there were so many people, innocent people, who had come to battle along with Ravana. So why I should kill all these innocent people just for the mistake of Ravana? So for this sake, Lord Ramachandra was little bit considerate and said that if you come and surrender to me, I am ready to forgive you. But as you know, that Ravana never surrendered. So one should never tolerate offenses on so many innocent people just because of one person. See, this time when Brahmastra was shot, it was described that when Arjuna counteracted that Brahmastra, it was a fierce, retraction of this Brahmastra. If this Brahmastra would not have retracted, we don't know how many people would have been killed. Of course, the next time Ashwatthama shot Brahmastra to kill the son of Uttara, that Brahmastra was shot with an intention of killing only one person. But this Brahmastra does not seem to be like that. This Brahmastra, when retracted by Arjuna's Brahmastra, there was a great fire that had emitted. So see, Ashwathama, for his mistake, he is neither repentant, he is neither trying to accept the punishment of the ruling king now. Rather, to protect himself from the punishment, he is trying to kill so many other innocent people also. So that's why he befits to be treated like an animal. So that's why this act of Arjuna becoming very anger is very, very appropriate. Of course, definitely one should not use anger just like that. But anger or right track of action for offenders is very, very much appreciated. So sometimes when we speak about the anger, we describe about Lord Hanuman's anger towards Ravana. It is appreciated. Scriptures always say that give up all these vices. But sometimes anger being used towards offenders, towards sinful people, or towards demons, it is considered right. Especially more so when you are, you are entitled to do that according to dharma. So this is very, very right course of action by Arjuna. But unfortunately, Arjuna does not complete this anger. There is, of course, definitely Kshatriya's one emotion is anger. Another emotion being a husband, he became again carried away by the emotion of compassion given by his wife Draupadi. So all these incidents from Bhagavatam give us insight about what is dharma and how a person should act, how a devotee should act, how a devotee should act even as a Brahmana, how a devotee should act even as a Kshatriya, how a devotee should act even as a Vaishya, like that. So in this way, Bhagavatam gives us insights of how one should live life and perfect one's life. So these are all various angles of my thought process for this particular act of Arjuna becoming angry at Ashwathama. So in the future we will see what all incidents happens with Ashwathama's life, and somehow or other Krishna makes sure that Ashwathama is punished rightly for his act. So that is what I could understand from the teachings of Bhagavatam. If anybody has any questions, anybody has any comments, anybody wants to add something to this explanation, you can please do so. Yes, Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yeah, like Bhagavatam 11th canto says, the Madhyamadhikari, book distribution and all the activities we are trying to do, it's like a preaching. So Madhyamadhikari means who keeps distance from envious people. So if we go out and meet well-wishers and book distributors, if somebody offends the Lord, definitely we need not take that step of killing him or cutting his tongue. But as a Brahmana, we can leave that situation very intelligently. If you feel that you are caught in a situation, very intelligently leave that situation. Say that, oh, I just got an emergency call. Oh, Prabhu, I think it is becoming late. Just leave. And need not go and meet that person again. Just leave that Krishna. We tried to rectify him, but he couldn't happen. Just leave it. You need not go to that same person again saying that maybe he will give donation. That day he offended a devotee, but he gave, say, 10,000 rupees donation. No, we will tolerate the offense, but we get the money. That should not be the attitude. Like say, first time you got offended by accepting a donation from such person, just don't go to that person. The whole world is filled with so many people. I mean, I am not such a big fund collector, but I have seen that the whole world is lying. There are so many people who will just give donation. You walk on the streets, the people will give. And as regards to people who offend us during book distribution, it's a very short interaction. Just leave and go, just leave and go. Okay? Hare Krishna. Any question? A bona fide son of Dronacharya and Kripi. Biological son. Not in the son in terms of inheriting the glory of the family. Prabhupada writes in the purport. Can we show that line here? Ashwatthama was a bona fide son of Dronacharya and Kripi. This son does not mean the son in the spirit. The son means just biological son. Just putra. Putra means born out of biological conception. But he is not a real son in the sense of inheriting the legacy. Definitely son will inherit the wealth, inherit also the glory of the lineage. But unfortunately, I don't know whether he got the wealth of Dronacharya or not. Dronacharya hardly had any wealth. He had just simple ashram, but he did not inherit the glory of Dronacharya also, or Kripi. Kripi is the daughter of lineage of Gautama Rishi. So he is not worthy son. Okay? So this bona fide word only refers to biological son, not the son in true glory. Okay? Any more questions? Yes? Yes, Hare Krishna. See, those festivals, that is good for Shudras. Sometimes Shudras are allowed to do that on specific days. By that actually Shudra becomes purified. If a Shudra offers meat to the goddess Durga on an Amavasya day by doing some tantric worship, the Shudra becomes little bit purified. Just because he has offered it to Kali and offered as per the regulations for Shudras. That is good for Shudras. Those who are higher elevated beings like Kshatriyas, Brahmanas and Vaishyas, they don't get involved in this. Shudras, it's okay. No problem. Okay, yes, Prabhu. Okay. They also think that they also are following dharma. Yeah. See, now somebody may say that I am following dharma. Everyone can say that I am also dharma. Right? So, how can one decide whether he is following dharma or not? It's very simple. You have a guru, you have superior people to guide. If you think that I am dharmic, you go to a superior person and ask, am I acting according to dharma? If the superior person says that, yeah, you are acting according to dharma, it's fine. Like for Lord Ramachandra, he need not have anybody to give a certificate that Lord Ramachandra is dharmic. Just imagine Lord Ramachandra was so cut short, narrow, cutting dharmic person, but still he always kept Vashishta as a guru to teach him and to correct him. So that is always there. You can think that you are dharmic, but you always have a superior person. Like Kauravas, if they thought that, whether we are acting or not or that, it's very, very simple for them. You just go and sit in front of Bhishma. Ask Bhishma whether we are acting according to dharma or not. Bhishma will tell you. Bhishma told so many times. Bhishma told to Dhritarashtra also, just because of your blind attachment, you are allowing your sons to do utpata. They all heard the king is weak, Dhritarashtra is weak. So all these upstarts will come when the king is weak. Correct? If Dhritarashtra would have been strong king, he would have told his sons, just get lost, you're not worthy to be kings. Yudhishthira is right king, I am installing Yudhishthira as king. Finished. But Dhritarashtra was blindfolded. No, my sons, I wanted to be king. See? Dhritarashtra, the whole biggest disqualification of Dhritarashtra is he wanted to be king. But unfortunately, the Varnashram system does not say like that. Oh, you want to be king? Okay, you sit for elections, we'll vote for you. Does not work like that. You have to inherit the legacy, then you become a king. Duryodhana was also trying to become a king because I want to become king. Right? You will see that detachment in Yudhishthira. When the whole battle got over, Yudhishthira still did not went and sat on the throne. He allowed the Dhritarashtra to sit. You continue to sit on that king's position. Okay? If you feel that somebody is dharmic or not, ask your superiors. Okay? Fine. Yes? Yeah? Yeah, so at least in ISKCON we have a system of superiors handling us. So seeing the qualities of a person in his devotional service, we give a qualified post to them, right? So sometimes say by mistake also if you become angry and you blast devotees, there are three courses of retractions that you can do. First thing is, go to that devotee and ask forgiveness. Consult the superiors. And after consulting the superiors, don't repeat it. So if you do these three things, that can be rightful justification for a particular situation. Is it okay? So thank you all very much. Granth Raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.